Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's podcast, Taking Care of Business Today with Ken Keelor, who is the CEO of Calgary Co-op. Thanks, Ken, for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Mary, for having me on your little podcast here. Yeah, I always love chatting with you.
All right, let's talk about some issue that the industry and you guys specifically are going to face here in the by the end of this year. Looks like there's a ban by the federal government on plastic shopping bags in stores. However, you guys are seeking an exemption to that, and maybe you could explain the reason why.
Yeah, thanks, Mario. Thanks for giving me a chance to voice our concern again. We in 2019 tested and then launched compostable bags, replacing all our plastic bags at the checkouts in our stores. Now, Calgary Co-op is known for our grocery stores, but we also have many other lines of business. Food, fuel, health and wellness areas, pharmacy, etc., recreational usage, so liquor and cannabis, and what it represented really was the replacement of 33 million plastic bags annually. And so we did that in early 2020. And so far, over 100 million plastic bags have been kept out of the landfill. And this is long before this ban was discussed or even announced. And our purpose at that time was to serve the environment better. And we've been doing that in many other ways too. When it comes to power usage, for example, we launched combined heating and power units, which take natural gas, convert it into electricity, and use the runoff to heat our stores, saving 30% of power off the grid and much more efficient than using the grid. Just giving you one big example of the kind of investments we'd made. Why we loved the compostable bag piece was we clearly had heard from our consumers, let's do more for the environment. And so we had worked with the city of Calgary to make sure that these bags completely break down and are compostable in the city's facilities, and that they're endorsed by the city of Calgary to use in our green bins at home. So over the last 3+ years, our consumers, and we do over 300,000 transactions in a day, have gotten very used to asking for these bags at the checkout, and they either bring their reusable bag in, or they'll recall, how many compostable bags do I have left at home for my green bin? I'm going to need 3 or 4 this week, so I'm going to take mine in compostable bags this week. So we work very hard for it. And when we heard about this plastic bag checkout bag ban, we assumed absolutely that our compostables were not part of this ban, because we had done a very innovative and creative process to create these and taken the high road already. So when we spoke to Environment and Climate Change Canada, we were shocked to understand that our bags are included. And we understand that there are some municipalities across the country where these bags are not, the technology and processes are not set to accept these bags and separate them clearly. But the city of Calgary is not one of those municipalities. They had done a lot of diligence to make sure they were good with these bags. So we have letters from the city council, the mayor is supportive. We have the Chamber of Commerce and the Business Council of Alberta. All of these folks are supporting what we're doing. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers, Retail Council of Canada. So all of the industry bodies that govern our industry and beyond are very supportive. What we're hearing, though, is that the law is moving forward. The ban takes effect the 20th of December, which we also think the timing is terrible. That is 3 days before Christmas, 3 or 4 days. And we're going to have to educate consumers on this change long before that, because I can tell you, if you had me using these bags for 3.5 years, and all of a sudden I come in on the 20th or 21st and I can't use them, they're going to think it's a Calgary Co-op directive and not understand it's something we federally has been legislated, and we've been fighting to get an exemption. So we're still hopeful, Mario. The conversations are continuing on. Okay. But we're also planning alternatives, like we have totes, we have reusable bags, and we'll continue to seek other options. But we're not going to do paper bags, because we don't believe that's right for the environment, and also doesn't allow for proper transportation of groceries like dairy, frozen produce that could potentially fall through the bottom of the bag. So that's our position.
So where are we at with this and your request? Do you have any kind of idea of when you might find out one way or another where this is going?
Yeah, at this stage, we're being told they will not create an exemption. So we are continuing the dialogue. We are also hopeful that despite the timing on this coming up so quickly on us,
Yeah.
that through this process there will be some second thoughts given to creating an exception, putting some rules around what is compostable, what is reusable, which we know those discussions are happening right now. So we don't believe that this is right for our consumers and our members, and certainly from a Calgary Co-op perspective. But we respect the plastic bag ban. We've always been in favor of removal of plastic from our stores and our operations. But at the same time, we know that timing is going to be challenging on this. But Mario, at this stage, we are continuing the dialogue. We're hopeful. We continue to push for to get people's ear on this subject. And so this is why I really appreciate being on this podcast as well.
So tell me, Ken, where are these bags made?
Yeah, we bring them in from out of the country. And
Uh-huh.
so that is part of the challenge, right? When you bring these bags in, we have to have a lot of lead time on them. Lead times have increased. So some of these countries, whether it's Asia or Europe, the reality is that these bags take a while to produce, and so our supplier is quite challenged as well. If there's a sudden exception, it's not like this can be turned around within a day's time.
Okay. And if you could rewind the clock for a second there, Ken, and look back a few years ago, tell me about how this all came about and, what was going through your mind, your company's mind, when you're looking at this area.
Yeah, we are very focused as a community-owned organization. We have 400,000 member owners. We've always been very focused on the environment, on social causes, and on how we're governed. So taking those, working through them backwards, our governance comes through 9 board members elected from the membership of 400,000 people that own us. Our social causes are very focused on food security, and we've done a lot in that regard recently, even with the fresh food rescue program to support the Calgary Food Bank. When it comes to the environment, we have done many things. We are building our stores smaller. We've been replacing lighting with LED lighting. We've been putting covers on our, bunker type freezers in our stores.
Hmm.
We have been really conscious of what's happening with the environment and working in many ways to tackle it. So when we thought about plastic bags and we went out and searched, came up with a compostable bag idea, worked with the city, really what was going through our minds was, okay, here's a way in which we can make such a meaningful environmental contribution, and our members are participating. Literally every time you came and shopped groceries, and even today, you're participating in environmental change by not using plastic bags. So that's what that was our journey. And we understand there was some consultations done through COVID timeframe. We know the city did participate and provide input and feedback on this subject. So it feels like a terrible shame that this would just roll forward. But I guess we're a small company in one part of Canada, and we're only one voice. We have had some other voices out of other parts of Canada from smaller grocers again
Hmm.
that did follow suit with compostable bags. And so we're hopeful. Look, there's no answer at this point in terms of giving us the exemption we're looking for, but we're continuing to dialogue.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thanks, Ken, for joining us today.
You're very welcome, Mary. All the best. Thank you.
All right, that was Ken Keelor, who is CEO of Calgary Co-op. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Managing Editor of Canada's podcast, Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.